And welcome back to American Agenda. I'm Heather Childers. Since the Olympic kickoff, early broadcast numbers suggest only half of the average 26 to 27 million people that usually tune in actually did. But could this be a result of the Olympic athletes prioritizing wokeness over winning as American athletes protest the flag and kneel during our national anthem? Our team, Team USA, look at this, ends day one with no medals for the first time since the Summer Olympics of 1972. It also appears that we are second to China when it comes to our medal tally. So let's bring back in our panel for their reactions. Melanie, I'll start with you. Does it really surprise you that not as many people are watching the Olympics this time around? I haven't tuned in. Usually, at least I tune in for the opening ceremonies, and I didn't this time.
I haven't tuned in either. Someone asked me the other day if I saw the opening. I was like, no, I didn't. I have zero interest because I don't want to see people kneeling during the national anthem. I don't want to see people with their fists in the air. What I want to see are our top tier athletes representing the United States proudly. And I don't want to see the politicization of the Olympics. I don't want to see it.
Yeah. Ford, your thoughts on it? Have you watched
I think
any
Melanie's
of it?
Well, I'm gonna have to be honest here, and I'm about to get tortured online for this. Yes, I've watched it. The reason's very simple. I'm a night owl. I can't sleep at night. I have insomnia, but I look, I think the majority of the reason for the drop in the numbers is because, as Melanie pointed out, when you basically continually disrespect the flag and you trash our country over and over, viewers tune out. We've seen this with the NBA stateside. But I will say, when you look at Seoul, and the last time we had numbers this bad, you do recognize that the reason why some people aren't watching, a very small portion, aren't watching because there's a 13-hour time difference.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. My dad was actually watching some of the gymnastics. I think it was yesterday, and I didn't even know that that's what was airing at that particular moment. But Steve, we want to support American athletes, and it does make me feel bad that those athletes over there that do deserve our support, that aren't trying to make it about spreading a social message or wokeism. They're kind of getting the short end of the stick.
They are getting the short end of the stick. It's unfair, but there are consequences. And I'll be straight with you. I cannot support, nor can I root for any USA team, even if there's one person on that team kneeling for the national anthem. I just can't do it. I don't feel right about it. But of course I feel bad for the others that have worked extremely hard. But it's going to take them actually standing up themselves and putting their teammates in place. I mean, that's just the way it is. We're all going to have to draw that line in the sand of when enough is enough.
Yeah, and I think enough will be enough when it starts turning against the other side. Even former President Trump expressed his disappointment in the games during an interview before his rally in Arizona over the weekend. Listen to what he said.
I think they're disgraceful. I think woke is really a loser's philosophy. And you take a look at what's happened with the women's soccer team. They lost to Sweden. Woke means lose, and that's exactly what's happening.
Melanie.
I miss President Trump so much. Woke means lose. He's 100% right about that. Woke does mean lose. And all of these athletes have endorsements and have a huge platform. You want to promote social justice, do a PSA. Do it in interviews. Don't do it on an international stage at the Olympics. That's the time when you're supposed to represent the United States, and what a fantastic country we are.
Yeah, and it's a good point, Ford, because if you're not winning, then no one's going to hear your message.
Well, that's exactly right. I think Melanie makes a great point. When you're more concerned about being woke than the product on the field, you're going to lose a lot of viewers. But also, just look at who the two most woke teams out there are: the women's soccer team and the men's basketball team, and they haven't been doing very well. So guess what? They need to be concentrating on the field more than they need to be concerned about wokeness.
Yeah, and I don't think that anyone that's being honest with themselves didn't think about that. These teams that were kneeling and then right right away, their first matchups, and they lose. Steve, a final thought from you, because I was also thinking, the last segment that we did in terms of the Cubans that are in the streets flying the American flags. I've mentioned it several times, and then you compare it to these Americans who are able to represent, freedom and everything that America stands for on this international stage, turning against the American flag.
Yeah, these people are spoiled brats. That's what they are. I used to coach Little League for my children back in the day, and around that time, participation trophies were starting to come into play. And I used to say, participation trophy, everybody doesn't deserve a trophy. Well, we've raised an entitlement mindset where everybody thinks they deserve a trophy, and they think that they can do this. They think they're entitled. And guess what? Companies and corporations actually benefit these people. They pay them. So they're not concerned about being great on the field anymore, because they know they'll get a special deal somewhere and make some big dough with a corporation that's just as woke as they are.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for standing by as well, because coming up, we're going to talk about this. Iconic comedian Jackie Mason passed away this weekend. When we return, we'll talk about the impact that he made on comedy and on the American culture. Stay with us.